Louisville and Columbus are back in the UFL. Back, yes, I will explain. With the addition of Columbus and Louisville to the United Football League, true pro football returns to Louisville for the first time since another team you might not have heard of played here in the 1960s. And the glory of professional football returns to Columbus. Let's just hope it's not this kind of glory. And if you don't get that, I'll explain that too. Professional football has its roots in Canton, Ohio, just 2 hours from Columbus, but Columbus has its own pro football history. The Columbus Panhandles are one of pro football's earliest teams, born in 1901 out of a railroad shop in the city. They first joined the Ohio League in 1904 but folded quickly, then relaunched in 1907 and played through 1919, though never winning a title. In 1920, the Panhandles became charter members of the brand new American Professional Football Association, which soon rebranded as the NFL. They're remembered for taking part in what's considered the first NFL game, facing the Dayton Triangles. The 1921 team is also known for the Nesser brothers all suiting up at the same time. 6 of them were on the roster that season. The Panhandles were renamed the Tigers after a year in the original NFL, and they folded in 1926. They never won a championship, but their owner, Joe Carr, who later became NFL president, helped shape the league's future, and he earned a spot in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Louisville's debut on the pro football scene came in 1919 when the Louisville Brecks played their first professional game against the neighboring New Albany Calumets. The Brecks had existed as a loosely organized team since 1899, but weren't affiliated with the league. That was until 1921, when owner Aaron Hertzman paid the APFA's $25 franchise fee. The aforementioned Joe Carr was president of the APFA, later renamed the NFL, and reportedly he welcomed a team from a city with a strong baseball presence. Well, the Brecks played through the 1924 season and were revived in 1926 as the Louisville Colonels, but that team was a traveling squad based out of Chicago. Their claim to fame, if you can call it that, was never scoring a single point in 4 games in 1926. In 1920, the Columbus Wagner Pirates went 8-2, but ended the season with a 24-0 loss to the Panhandles in their lone official APFA game. Now, the Pirates played through 1926 with their final year as a traveling team without a home field. Not much information exists about this team, including why Wagner was in the name. Most teams had sponsors back then, so it most likely referred to the August Wagner Brewery or possibly Wagner Manufacturing, Wagner Awning, or Wagner Electric. If anyone out there has more information about this mystery team, let me know down in the comments. The Columbus Bullies hit the scene in 1939 as members of the APFA, then switched to the American Football League in 1940. The Bullies won the 1940 and 1941 AFL championships before the league folded after that 41 season. They also played a 3-game series with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 1941, winning 2 of 3. In the 1960s, the original United Football League featured teams from Columbus and Louisville. The Columbus Colts played in the short-lived American Football Conference in 1960. In 1961, they joined the UFL in its debut season, finishing as league runners-up. The team was renamed the Columbus Capitals the next year, but they never matched that success. Well, there's not much to see right now in this Louisville parking lot, but at one time there was a stadium here that was home to the Louisville Raiders, who played in the original UFL with Columbus in 1961 and 1962. They won just 4 games each season. Semi-pro football returned to Louisville in 1988 with the Louisville Bulls, who played nearly 25 years before folding in 2011. The AF2's Louisville Fire played at Freedom Hall from 2001 through 2008. Then there was the Extreme, who had a strong season in 2014 in the Continental Indoor Football League before a strange foray into semi-pro outdoor football, and then later being booted from both the National Arena League and Indoor Football League. Hopefully the new Louisville UFL team clears that bar of professionalism in 2026. Back to Columbus and back to arena football, as the Arena Football League's Columbus Thunderbolts lasted, well, just 1 season at Ohio Expo Coliseum before relocating to Cleveland. That 1991 season was unremarkable as the team went 0-10, but there was one remarkable stat. Quarterback Major Harris rushed for 429 yards. That was a record that stood for 14 years. Pro football returned to Columbus in 1992 with the Ohio Glory in the World League of American Football. The Glory brought former NFL quarterback Babe Laufenberg out of retirement, but after a couple of rough starts, he was replaced by Pat O'Hara, who was one of the most interesting stories from the WLAF. Stay with me to the end of the video for a link to O'Hara's story. Well, the Glory finished with just one win, but there was some good news. Head coach Larry Little was elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame the next year. Arena League football returned in 2004 when the Buffalo Destroyers relocated to Columbus. Their highlight came in 2007 when the underdog Destroyers upset the heavily favored Georgia Force to reach the Arena Bowl. They lost to San Jose in the championship. The league folded in 2008 but was revived in 2019 along with the Columbus Destroyers. For some 6 degrees of separation here, the Destroyers' 2019 head coach was Matt Salk, a former Louisville Fire quarterback. His team went 1-11 and the AFL folded once again after the season. Check out this video to learn more about the quarterbacks of the World League of American Football, including Pat O'Hara and the Ohio Glory, and this one for a full story about the original UFL. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more videos diving into pro football history.